What it do, my people? What it is? This is another episode. I'm with the man behind the scenes, in the scene right now, the one that does a whole lot of work for this podcast right here.
I don't do the easy parts.
Nah, I do the easy parts. We could argue that because I guess we both like to do what we do.
Yeah, the recording's easy for me. Being in front of this camera.
Well, today's episode, we're just gonna kind of recap on everything that we have did so far and some of the upgrades that he's made to what he's doing and some of the ideas that we have for the future and just what's been going on and what we got planned. So just like a little update and recap all at once.
I mean, first off, we are in a studio now, so that was our biggest upgrade in the past. I don't know what 6 months or so. We've been recording for 8 months total. This will be our 8th podcast.
Fire.
Podcast. I won't edit that out. I'm probably wrong. But we finally moved into a studio, so everything can stay set up, and we don't have to worry about having to break stuff down, and pick stuff up, and break stuff down, and pick stuff up, unless we go on site like we did with Tim.
And Castle and Key.
Right.
And Kentucky Gentleman.
Yeah.
Which, so we do plan on going on site to some of the places that we go to, but then some of the people who are from out of town and that we just want to interview, and if we want to set up and, you know, just have an office for ourselves to be able to talk to people. Yeah. Oh, you know.
I turned that off.
Yep. It happens. Yeah, I think I turned mine on silent. Cool. That's all good.
This is a state of the podcast episode, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Really loud as fuck.
So we're in this new dope little studio that we got right here, and we're both very pleased with it, and we're ready to shoot some episodes in here. So our next,
this background.
yeah, we're gonna get some stuff on there, but you know, we like the space. It's dope. It's old school. It's especially in the ceilings, really tall stuff.
15, 20 foot ceilings.
Gotta be.
They're pretty up there.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a little echoey until we can get
figure that out.
In here.
Yeah.
So like you can kind of see on Jordan's cut over here. We've got some sound panels that will be going in eventually. I've got them set up right now, so it shouldn't be crazy bad. But it's pretty bad.
It will get better though, as every episode has throughout. You know,
I feel like we've shown good progress every single episode.
For sure.
Watching episode 1, we go back and when you're watching Brett's episode, it was a completely
night and day for sure. Yeah, and then the episodes are getting more exciting to me too. Like not like the first ones aren't, because it was just, I think I was a little bit more nervous when we first started. So learning how to be, I'm used to talking. I'm a barber, so that's kind of what we do. I talk to people all day. So
yeah, man's got a natural charisma. So.
It's a blessing and a curse sometimes. But you know, I think understanding what I'm wanting to see out of a podcast and what I want to see out of myself in a podcast, and learning how to look at the cameras and look at my camera and not look at their camera, because that one's not even looking at me. So, you know, just learning what I'm doing behind the camera, well, in front of the camera, is getting more comfortable for me. So I'm really liking it.
Yeah, the more times that I'm back there recording, we started out with a single camera. I think we did 2 cameras at first. But when we moved to a triple camera setup and didn't have to cut back and forth and could just do a live switch, that's been life changing. That was the last 3 episodes. I think when we went on site, we had 3 cameras. The last episode,
I think, did we do? No, we did Dylan. We did Tim and Dylan with 3.
Tim and Dylan was 3. Brett was 3. Kentucky Gentleman was 3. So I mean, we should be 3 from now on. That's a blessing for sure.
Yeah, and when we get more people on, because there's gonna be at some point there's gonna be I'd say about a 6-person podcast at some point.
I'm just gonna laugh mic everyone. I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah.
I'll put the Zoom overhead mic and then laugh everybody up, and that's
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't even think we're gonna have to do like 2 people per
Three,
camera.
three,
Yeah,
all.
and grab like a GoPro to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
to
yeah.
be quiet for everybody.
Ah, well, somebody who I have a GoPro for us. Gotta
Yeah.
figure out where it's coming from because I forgot.
I've got two, so
Oh,
we should be okay there. They both record 4K, which is crazy.
that's wild.
They've been
That's
recording
wild.
4K forever.
Yeah, GoPro is fire though.
Yeah,
It really
they're actually
is.
really solid cameras. If you don't have something to record with at home, grab a GoPro. Like
Yeah.
$2.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, if you have an iPhone, grab
Yeah.
an iPhone. Throw
Yeah,
your
if you got the right iPhone, you're good. Samsung with certain Samsungs too, man. Certain
they've
Samsungs.
got great recording potential.
Yeah,
It just
yeah,
takes a little more. They don't record in Apple ProRes and stuff like that, so editing is a little more difficult.
yeah.
Takes a more powerful computer, but when you can record directly in Apple ProRes, it's pretty insane.
That's dope.
So
That's the things I don't know. That's why I'm not behind the camera. You know.
that's on the editing side. That's on the editing side. Editing and like MP4s, that's like what all your movies are exported in and what you watch movies in. Because when you are recording a movie, it's terabytes of footage, and that movie might be 30 gigabytes when they export it. But when you're recording in ProRes or something like that, you're looking at one of our podcasts, which is like an hour, 20 minutes, give or take, on a normal day. We're looking at like 300 terabyte or 300 gigabytes per camera. So almost a terabyte of footage across the board.
That is a lot.
To shrink down to 15 gigabytes or 16 gigabytes to upload to YouTube.
Is that what it ends up being?
Yeah. Yeah. The last export, Brett's podcast, was 33 gigabytes.
That was our largest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one we've had so far.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I think Tim's was our longest, though. Yeah, I think it was like an hour and 39 or something like that. We took a break. We drank. We had a good time.
We spent longer there.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Some of that should not be the internet.
So, speaking of that episode, like, so our first like on scene for the business that we were recording with was Tim Lusher and Dylan and over at Sig Lusher, and that was a fire episode.
Yeah, I just stopped in there yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Got a beer with my dad and my uncle when they were in town.
Dope.
So that was really. We took a tree down, and I was like, man, it's like 3:00. We got the tree down. I'm sunburnt as hell.
I want a beer. Yeah, yeah.
Let's go get a beer.
As soon as I got done with my jiu-jitsu tournament, that's the first thing I wanted was a beer. I was up in Lexington, so I ended up going to Mary Twin, which I really like Mary Twin Brewing. So if anybody's up in Lexington, stop by there. They got some pretty dope stuff there. But the next episode we did was Kentucky Gentleman.
Mhm.
I was just with Cody today. We just got done golfing. Yeah, that's who we went golfing with. Yeah, so we got to hang out for a minute, and they got some cool projects coming up with some.
Is Trifecta still opening up in Riggs?
Yeah. So.
I don't know if I'm supposed to spell that.
Man, I'm pretty sure that's out in the open. Like he's posted that and everything. So you feel me? So he I'm having a brain fart here.
Well, one of the favorite pictures that I've ever taken was right after one of our episodes. I had just bought the R5C and a new lens, and I walked out the door. It was like 9:00 at night, 10:00 at night, pitch dark, and Rick's, which has been closed down for like 6 months or 8 months, still has all the
like a
neon
year
on,
and something.
Still
now.
has everything turned on. They were doing some renovations inside, so there's like a ladder linked up against it on the inside. I came across the street, I saw that image, and I said, I need that.
Yeah. Yeah, capture that.
And it's
Fire.
And when that turns into Trifecta, I'm gonna go back and do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go back and shoot it because it's.
Take it down to them.
We've got pieces of history in this city that we get captured.
Yeah.
And then when they change, nobody bothers to take the picture again because it's not historic anymore.
It will be though.
But it will be.
It will
30
be.
years.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
We're looking at the same timeline, just we're at the beginning of it.
Right. Right.
We're at the start.
When our kids are grown.
They're gonna be talking about Trifecta.
Yeah. They won't even know what Rick's is.
Right.
Like that's just how. Yeah. Well, as long as the pictures are there, that's part of the pictures though. Like you got to capture the moment of when stuff is there. Like I've recently moved my barbershop to the west side and very happy with the move. But I was in the historic part of Frankfurt and I really loved being in that
Yeah.
part of Frankfurt. So the move was definitely bittersweet to say the least.
It's a different vibe,
It
but
is.
it's not a bad thing.
No, it's more modern now,
Yeah.
more modern feeling, more open. Definitely, I'm doing more of a, I'm running more of a business now. I
Yeah,
feel like,
it feels. I did like the vibe of being like the old time
yeah,
classic barbershop.
for
You
sure.
come in, you talk your shit, you hear from all the old heads sitting around, and that's
It had that
a lot of
community
fun.
vibe to it.
And part of that was being downtown
It
and
was.
having Mr. Bruce stop in and say hi and stuff like that.
Miss Mr. Bruce. Yeah.
It, those are the kinds of things that you'll miss by going to the West Side. But what you gain from it is this new sense of community
Yeah.
with all of the younger generation that are able to come in because they're already on the West Side. That's where all
Yeah.
the stuff to do in Frankfurt is. It's all on
For
the West
sure,
Side.
for sure. And then that neighborhood that we're next to now, I didn't realize how many people live back there, and a
Yeah, it's
lot of
huge.
people, a lot of
Right behind
kids
three
come
schools.
there now. So,
Yeah.
it's still we still open everybody with open arms
Yeah.
and want people to come in and just kick it and hang out, like just like the old shop. It's the same vibe, different spot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So.
Well, it's the same people still.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
And then
not.
we're, young Padawan John, he's finally done he's in school. So he graduated this year and
Hell yeah.
he took a month off for summer and went right into barber school now.
Yeah.
So he's as far as August 1st, he'll be in school for a month.
That's awesome.
He got 10 more months to go. So
Hey, I mean that's like peak next year though.
bro, man, when he
He'll
comes
be able
in,
to
he'll be
pop
coming in at a perfect time.
Yeah, he'll
It'll
able
be
to pop
popping. Me and JD will have it slammed in there. I'll mess around and we'll make sure that we throw some events to make sure that he's eating. So
keep your eyes open for our new barber.
yeah, Padawan John.
You gotta support the youngins that are out there so
Yeah,
that they can keep the trade going. You
he's
know,
fresh 18.
if you learn a bunch of stuff and you go to school to learn stuff and then nobody comes in and purchases your trade
Yeah,
just because you're
it
new,
feels
like,
different.
if
It's hard.
sometimes cutting hair, it's like hair regrows. If you get a bad haircut, whatever, just come back.
Yeah,
People get better. This podcast got better.
yeah.
Everything's gonna get better. You just gotta keep coming back.
Man, the kid's so ill though. Like it's the same way with JD. Like they got to learn things that I didn't learn till 8, 9 years in.
There's a
So
different level of talent
there is.
in the generation under us.
There is, man, and they like
They
they understand it, they get it, and if they really dial into their talent, it's crazy, and put some work ethic to it, like JD has. JD has such an amazing work ethic. It makes no sense. Padawan John's the same way. He might even be more have even more like I've it just gets better each generation,
Yeah.
and that's what it's supposed to do. If we're not making the next generation better, we're not doing the right thing. Because yes, the game is to be sold, not always told, but in some ways, like the game is to be told. Because if we holding each other back, like what are we really doing here?
Gatekeeping is such a rampant issue.
It is.
I mean, we're gradually moving away from gatekeeping in almost every community at this point because people are so tired of being the only ones that are good in the industry.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you stay busy, but you can just charge more. If you've been in the business for 30 years, just because somebody else comes in and is also talented doesn't mean that there's not bread for everybody. There's a reason why somebody would hire somebody who's been in the game for 30 years as opposed to somebody in the game for 5 years.
Right.
Even if their talent levels are the same, there's a difference that comes with that experience.
Yeah.
And that's some people are hiring for experience, and if you aren't elevating your own craft to match that 30 years of experience, then you're doing something wrong. It's
No,
not
for sure.
the young one's fault for coming in and knowing what he's talking about.
Yeah, and grinding his ass off.
Yeah.
Like
the people who are at 16, 17, 18 years old, they're in school, they're doing their schoolwork, and then they're at home. And they could be at home playing video games, they could be at home doing sports, whatever. If they're putting the effort in to learn a craft while they're young and can be up for 18 hours a day and get 4 hours of sleep,
let them do. Yeah. Eventually, the sleep part's gonna catch up to him, but it's not till later 20s, and then you start to feel it. Like
I'm not out here watching YouTube videos until 3 a.m.
No.
trying to learn camera stuff. Like at this point, I've learned what
What you
I'm
need
gonna
to,
learn
yeah,
through YouTube and through mentorships and stuff like that. Like at this point, it's just get out there, record, get out there and shoot, do
experience.
whatever. That's how I'm gonna get better now.
Yeah.
So when people come into the game or any industry at all, they're just automatically knowing everything that we had to spend 5 years grinding out because there wasn't YouTube 8 years ago. Like there was, but like there weren't content creators 8 years ago. That wasn't a job. That's people's job now. Their whole job is to just make content to educate people.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh well, if there's anything you want to do, just go to YouTube University, and that's not even a joke. Like
Yeah,
you actually can learn whatever you want to online.
it's pretty wild. Between YouTube, you got to be a little bit careful with Chat GPT because it is like it's learning still. But like Chat GPT with a lot of things will at least have like the beginner steps to some things. So it is.
If you're struggling in your business side of things,
Man, Chat GPT can like save you in organization, time organization. It does a lot of my scheduling.
ADHD.
Oh man, like for our podcast, when I'm doing the time and how much time we need to be spending on a subject, I'm using Chat GPT to help set up that. I tell it what we're gonna be talking about. I give it the order that I want it in, and it kind of sets up the times for me, so I don't have to. I hate numbers. I hate time. Like time is one of my anxieties. So. In my house, I don't have clocks. You feel me? I run off time all day when I'm in the barbershop, so I try to not deal with time as much as I can. So, chat.
Is that
Yeah, I think so.
pause?
1 second.
Oh. Oh, awesome! Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think that might be our receipt.
Yeah.
For the ask from the other day. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
That was our lovely landlady.
Yeah.
Her name is Phyllis. She and her husband John have been in Frankfurt their entire lives. They are a staple in this city's history.
For sure.
That will be either a future podcast episode or it will just be a future episode on either Culture of YouTube or my personal YouTube.
Yeah.
I will be interviewing them at some point about both this building and about the Sauer family line in general. Like every
They have a lot going on. Yeah.
For the past like 5 generations has been mayor of Frankfurt.
That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild.
So I mean, there's a lot.
There's something going on. Yeah.
This building was built in like 1911.
This one was 1911.
Yeah. Or 1913. Something
Goodness.
Like that.
Yeah, that's fire.
It's old.
Yeah.
And it's been in their family the entire time. So I mean, there's a lot of rich history in this city, and the fact that we get to work with these people and even rent from these people is an incredible opportunity to record that history and make sure that the generation below doesn't get left out.
Yeah.
Like we want
Bridging that gap.
because not everybody remembers 50 years ago.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Some of us weren't born 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
I barely remember the 90s. You feel me? Like I remember some things in Frankfurt in the 90s, but like at the same time, like people bring up stuff and I'm like, oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
So
the nostalgia unlocks.
Yeah.
Randomly.
Our last episode was scenery wise was man, amazing.
Yeah, even not being focused on just the podcast, like actually sitting and getting to just sit and listen to Glenn's Creek burbling in the background.
Yeah. It was fire. It was fire.
Come through on the audio side of things because it just since it's a constant noise, the microphones are just going. So that's.
But it was a creek and it was beautiful and it was nice. And Brett was super. I mean,
And it wasn't 110 degrees.
It wasn't. Now it is. So.
A week and a half later, 2 weeks later.
Any episode that you see until deep September is going to be inside for the next little bit because it is crazy.
Happened to catch it not being a billion degrees.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Yeah. August is brutal here. Yeah. Yeah. The real feel for tomorrow was supposed to be like 101 or something like that. We're still not Phoenix or nothing, but people don't understand the humidity level here.
You've been to Phoenix? I'll take 101 in Phoenix all
over
day, but
101 in
I'll take
Kentucky any day.
105 in Phoenix
Yeah,
in the desert
yeah.
over 92
101.
here.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I
just
don't
crazy.
need that.
Yeah, it's
I'm
pretty
wet
bad.
the moment you walk out of the door. You're just liquid, and
I feel like I can't breathe. As soon as I step out, I'm
my
like,
asthma, dude.
yeah,
Just end up.
my lungs feel like they're sweating. Like I'm like, what in the
They're leaking
world?
directly into my lungs. My entire body is cooling inside my lungs.
I know in the future we got some pretty cool stuff coming up too, as far as ideas of podcast episodes and people that have reached out to us. I'm not gonna say too much, but we definitely got some more bourbon companies that wanna.
I would like to get some more bourbon talk in general.
Yeah, I think bourbon talk is pretty dope, and it's definitely part of Kentucky culture. It's part of my culture. My granddad was huge into bourbon, so that's something that I'm not big into drinking anymore. I used to be a little bit bigger in it. I taste all the time, but
I like to taste that.
yeah, I don't want to get drunk or anything. So I'm big into tasting, but I'm not gonna be drinking just because that's some personal things that I've chose to do over time for personal growth. So
Yeah, I've got almost 60 individual bourbons at the house
that's fire.
that are just like you
That's a
go in the basement
collection.
if you want to try something. I've got something for every flavor,
That's a
and
collection.
that's my hobby and that's my passion outside of photography is just sitting down and being able to be like, this is what this flavor is. This is what this flavor is. Like the entire podcast with Brett, I'm like, I just
Can I get a drink of bourbon? Man, we're gonna have a episode eventually. I will be able to say this with like Katima because she's a huge bourbon person, and I got my homie Cody that I want to get on, and then it could be like you, and we'll just sit around and talk some bourbon.
That one will be us sitting around a circular table just spinning bourbon around the whole time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty dope episode. I'm gonna have to smoke a couple cigars during that episode.
I might have to look up like we could probably shoot that at Kentucky Gentleman again.
Oh, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. They would love for us to come there.
Yeah.
We might even have to play a game of pool while we're doing the podcast or something. Can we get some mics that we can clip on?
Lavalier mics. I'm looking at a couple wireless lavalier mics right now, but
cool. A little pricey. A little pricey. Man, this game is not cheap. This game is not cheap. But you also don't have to start with everything too.
Right.
So like it is something that you can start up a little bit less quality, and as long as people see the growth, I think people will stick around.
I agree. And like I said, you can grab your iPhone at this point.
Yeah, iPhones are fucking fire though, for real.
With that is recording storage. Again, if you're recording in ProRes or something, you're doing like 100 gigabytes. So unless you've got a terabyte phone, you're kind of in trouble. But like grab a GoPro for $200.
Yeah.
Grab a GoPro, throw it on the cheapest tripod you can find, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything crazy. You could even, a lot of people do their vlogs like that. They'll just hold the GoPro out and record the whole time. Get a lavalier mic, get a recorder. For $400, you can start a podcast and do whatever you want to, as long as you have recording space.
The main thing is, I think once you buy that stuff is staying consistent.
Right.
And there's days that like, I got a lot going on, period, and I'm like, man, it's hard to get in.
It's been a busy summer.
Yeah, it has been, but we have been doing everything that we can to stay as consistent as possible and to be dropping something monthly.
Right.
And
this month in particular, that's why we're doing this episode. Is
just a filler month, just a kind of a filler, but
we had a jiu-jitsu competition, so congratulations on coming in fourth there.
That's not jiu-jitsu, but whatever.
Yeah. So we've had a very busy month this month, and the option was like, well, we could like record something later and hope to get it out by the 1st, or we could record this and just set up. We're in a new studio. We have all this new stuff to worry about that we're trying to figure out, and the best way to do that is just to let you all know.
This is what we're doing. Yeah. Next episode will be somebody. Not sure who. I really want to get Dave on. So at House of Commons, if you guys don't know about House of Commons,
if we could record,
that is going to be that's what I would try to do. That's what I would try to do. Yeah.
Talk about beautiful scenery.
He's only been there for about a year, a little bit over a year, but he is going to be a staple business
Yep.
in the bourbon capital, what I would call the
Yep.
bourbon capital. So,
Yeah, people come to
um,
Kentucky to watch races in Lexington and drink bourbon.
yeah, and this is a they base their bourbon off historic bourbons a lot of times, and he's gonna have bottles that they're only gonna have one of.
Yep.
Um, there,
I
it's
think he's got a couple of the E.H. Taylors that like don't exist.
yeah, yeah,
Like there's like 15 bottles in the world.
guarantee
He's got
it,
one of them.
guarantee
So it's
it.
like, and it's on a shelf and you can buy it. Like,
So
I mean, you
House
pay
of
for it,
Commons,
but
yeah, it is on the main street.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean
He's
it's
got
a
his
beautiful
Airbnbs and
location.
stuff like that right in the back, so you don't even have to leave anywhere.
Yeah,
You
it's
can
pretty
come to
dope.
Frankfurt, stay at House of Commons, drink at House of Commons, wander around downtown, enjoy the concerts, go back to your room, and stay for a weekend. And just
Yeah,
have a good time enjoying and exploring Frankfurt. And that's something that this city has needed for 10 years.
yeah,
The difference
they're
in
definitely making it
downtown
like that
in the
now.
last 5 years has been so substantial that if you've not been to Frankfurt, even if you're in Lexington or Louisville and you're just like, why would I go to Frankfurt? Or if you're out of the city, you're out of the state, and you haven't been to downtown Frankfurt in the last 5 years, you haven't been to downtown Frankfurt. It's different.
It
I've
is
lived here
different.
my entire life, and it's been absolutely nothing for 10 years. Not nothing, but like the level of commerce and camaraderie and sense of community that this city has grown in the past 5 years it's a completely
It's
different
fire.
experience than what it was even 5 years ago, and especially if it's
Yeah, in the next 5 to 7 years, I would say Frankfurt will be like one of the top spots in Kentucky. Um, it always wasn't. I don't think it always was, but right now I think it's definitely been progressive enough to make everybody feel inclusive, like make it feel more inclusive. So I think that Frankfurt is doing a really good job at what it's been doing, and I think here in the next 5 to 7 years, it's going to be something crazy. I mean, you can already see it with the way that some of the prices have went up. So when prices go up, more money comes in. It's just part of it. Like I don't always agree with like housing and stuff going up, but like as far as commercial spots and stuff like that, I completely understand
Yeah.
because that's just the way that business works. The value of the dollar changes and everything. So downtown Frankfurt is rebuilding and rebranding, and I think it's going in a pretty dope direction.
Well, I mean, housing's going up because we've always had the same number of houses, but no one's wanted to live here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
now we've got
People wanting to live here, so now we
people wanting to
need
move, so
people.
we've got
Yeah, yeah. I think Frankfurt will probably start looking for some investors on some housing outside, on probably towards where they're building the Target and all that stuff.
right, and we don't have any like large scale apartment complexes or anything. Lexington's got some very expansive apartment complexes that can
Yeah,
house
like the ones we have behind Dick's.
right.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
need something like, well, not that's $1,300-$1,400 a month, but
yeah, yeah.
some of those apartments are pretty expensive. But this isn't Louisville. It's not Lexington. If you charge $1,000 a month for a house here or for an apartment here, people can't afford that.
No, they can't.
That's a whole different conversation.
That is, we could.
Affordable housing and affordable like
That's a whole thing,
apartment complexes and stuff like that. That has almost nothing to do with the actual city of Frankfurt and everything to do with the current economic climate.
which we're not going to get into today. No, no.
This is not.
Okay. What we won't do is talk any politics on this podcast because,
That's a never thing.
yeah.
This is,
Yeah, you want to talk politics? Come holler at me in the shop. We can talk some politics. Hey, they say don't do that in the barber shop, but my shop is a little bit different. We can talk about whatever. On the podcast, I will talk about whatever, and I have no problem saying my feelings. But at the same time, I know what we're trying to do, and we want to. The culture of is about uniting people, and I think politics at the current moment is about dividing people. So I will stick to uniting people in any way that we can.
to have an adult conversation with anybody about politics.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you're very comfortable with that person.
Right.
It's very difficult to have an adult conversation. It's always well, this happened, this happened, this happened.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Focus
This
on
is
yourself.
yeah.
Focus on your business. Focus on your game. Focus on your culture.
Yeah.
And then everything will be okay.
I've been living life to this new little thing. It's like no breaks. You either working on your business, on your family, or on your health. That's what you're doing each day. No
Those should be
days
your
off.
pillars.
Yeah,
Those are the three pillars of your life.
yeah.
And
Health, family, and business,
family can be anything.
and
It could be your
yeah,
friends. It could be your blood
whoever
relatives.
you make your family. Yeah,
Family's family. It doesn't have to be direct blood relative, but that the human connections that we have are the things that we should be nurturing every single day, and that we tend to fall short on, myself included, focusing on mending and maintaining relationships. Especially, I have bad ADHD. If you don't text me, I don't remember to text you back. I promise. I have to text you 10 times because I'm not going to remember.
I suck at texting.
It's bad.
Period.
Please don't text me.
I don't even want to tell y'all. Deleted all my messages like February or something. I got 1,226 unread text messages, and I just deleted a whole lot. That's really bad. I know I got some problems. That yeah, I have some communication issues. 200 missed calls. I'm not even gonna get into all this, but you know, it's absolutely insane. Yeah, it's okay. So I have communication problems. I'm not good at communication outside of face to face. That's just where I choose to like really thrive with. That's where I save my energy to be able to communicate. I want to give whoever. I don't let everybody around me. So when I'm around people, I want to give them my all. So I feel like texting and talking on the phone for some reason is just too much. But I guess it's not. It's my time. It's just the wrong time period for me. For real. That's how everybody communicates. That's how a lot of stuff is done. And I get it, and I kind of need to get with the time frame. But I'm kind of an old head.
I'm old in my head, and I'm old in my the way that I do things.
Yeah. If I could have a beeper, it'd be better. People would beat me, and I would probably call them back for real. But since it's like a missed call, I'm like, well, I missed it now. Like it's over. Yeah. I make a million excuses of why not to call back, but for real, I probably need to get a little bit better at it.
Just hire a personal assistant.
Eventually, like those are goals. Like those are definitely goals of mine. I definitely want a personal assistant that can handle all that. Does anybody have an AI program that can just be full blown assistant mode yet? That can answer all that type of shit.
Yeah, put that in the comments if anyone's aware of that.
And if not, does anybody just want to be a personal assistant for free?
Yeah, are you bored?
Yeah. Do you want to answer all my phone calls and texts for the next
1,212 minutes? Can you take care of that?
It's bad. This is why I don't like It's just overload of communication. Too many people reach out, and it gets to a point to where it's like overstimulated, and I'm just like shut down. I don't want to even talk to anybody because I have a whole life outside of trying to make.
Yeah.
We're all you're working. We're still doing this. I do this. I got another company that I'm trying to get up and going, and then we recently have talked to another homie that I think we're going to try to do some stuff in the future as well. We'll definitely talk more about that. You'll hear more about some stuff in the next like month and a half, 2 months, but we're definitely going to take our time with it and make sure that we're doing it right, and make sure that we're ready for it before we jump the gun or anything. So
yeah, I mean, we want to be able to stay focused on what's important to us and not just chasing money.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to get things promoted and get things pushed and have tens of thousands of views. And quite frankly, if I see 60 views on a video that we made, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
So
we appreciate everybody that's been watching for sure.
It's incredibly important to us that you all watch. And if you stayed this late into the podcast, for any of the podcasts, I know it's really hard on these video podcasts. We will be doing audio only uploads here very soon, probably when we hit 10 episodes or 12 episodes. When we've been doing this for about a year, I'll go ahead and archive all 12 and then put them all up at one time on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, stuff like that, so that you can listen to them while you're doing other things. I know it's really difficult to put on a YouTube video and actually listen to it or watch it or sit down and pay attention.
Oh man, one of my favorite episodes was Troy's and Izzy's episode, and my godbrother, bro. This man, he's just got done with EMT school, bro.
That's so sick.
Yeah, he just got done with EMT school. He wasn't even started when we shot that podcast. So like since then he has got in and out of EMT school and about to take his like his Kentucky license so he can officially be like licensed to work on the back of the EMT. So
That's crazy.
yeah, bro.
It was like 9 months ago.
You get what I'm saying? Man, he did it in like 3 or something like that, bro. It was crazy. Like he worked full time and did it. So like, yo, people out here grinding, man. There's
It's dry.
it's a different time period right now. Money is hard on everybody. I feel like I'm making more money than I've ever made, but at the same time, I feel broker than I've ever felt. It's pretty fucking crazy. Yeah. But it's a blessing to be able to do that. It is a blessing, but I do eventually want to like build some wealth. But it's like you have to spend some money to make some money, and you got to chase the passion over profit, and it takes time. And
Like, every cent that I make outside of this podcast that isn't my regular job, that's all photography, videography. It all goes right back into photography, videography.
yeah,
I've made probably 30 or 40 grand as a photographer in the past 6 or 7 years. It all goes to equipment. Every scrap of it.
this yeah.
Like every single thing that I do, I go back and I buy a new camera, I buy a new lens. That's how you get better at your craft. So
You have to. If you're not investing on yourself, people see that too.
yeah.
And people want to see the investments. They want to see you trying. And
It's great that you can come in and make a bunch of money. That's awesome. But if you're not putting that back into yourself, then what are you doing?
yeah,
If you're just
100%.
to make extra money, just work overtime.
Ain't that it? That's
Like,
real. Yeah, if you just want extra money, there's ways to get extra money without.
More money working at your regular job for more hours
Yeah,
than you will pursuing your own passions.
in the beginning.
Don't let that stop you from
Yeah.
pursuing your own passions.
It takes time.
It's better to take less money for more fun
Yeah,
than it is to not. I mean, if you give up on yourself, then what are you doing? You're just a husk, running around, working wherever you're working, going through your daily everything, and it's not worth it anymore.
and I promise this
On
too.
yourself.
When it comes to like passion, and once you get to doing it so long, like you will, if you're not doing it for the passion of and you're doing it for the profit, you will get burnt out.
Yeah.
Like it's 100% fact. Money. It's like how they say like love is not enough to keep a relationship. Money is not enough to keep you passionate. It has to be a real passion.
Yeah,
like
if you're doing it for money, go find something profitable.
yeah, 100. Yeah, yeah.
Go back to college or whatever, grind that out.
If you're not willing to chase the passion, go find something that's just profit. Like, and that way, when you do your passion, it's more just about the passion.
Right.
Like, the second that you start doing it for profit, I mean, I see it. We see it in entertainers all the time. Like, especially with sports and I'll say, yeah, sports is bad. Like in the fighting world, I'll say like, man, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it. So like Connor, like I love him to fucking death, bro. But the second he took that Floyd Mayweather fight, it turned into like I felt like he started fighting for money. And the second that you start fighting for money, it turns into it's entertainment now. It's not a passion. You like this is entertainment. I'm getting paid off this. Like you get what I'm saying, bro? Man. Then the information I just got on John Jones, I don't even want to talk about UFC right now. Grr, John Jones. Grr. Is it? Nah, he's my favorite fighter. He's like top dog. But man, he hurt my feelings. That's it. No more on that. Yeah. That's my sport. It's UFC for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get to, yeah, I don't even get to do my own entertainment half the time. Like, I spend like an hour a day maybe watching TV, and the rest of it's like either at work sleeping or trying to sneak in some time with my family or planning out weddings or shoots and stuff like that. And it's just like when I do get 2 hours or something to sit down, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and enjoy this.
I feel that. Yeah, no, man.
Can't watch anything on a schedule.
No, not at all. I rarely watch TV. It's definitely when the fights are on. If me and JD went to a fight recently when they came to Louisville and Louisville showed out for them, so it was dope. But as far as like at the crib watching anything, when I get to the crib, if I got both the kids, it's cooking, cleaning, getting them ready for school the next day or just for the next day so I can go to work the next day type shit. And then here recently, I've started taking melatonin because I only get like 4 hours of sleep. So, and it's, I wake up every hour to make sure I'm breathing good because of my asthma and stuff. So, I have this huge anxiety about sleep where I'm not liking to sleep a lot at all. So, melatonin helps me sleep through the night, and I get like 5 hours, 6 hours of sleep, which is, phew, let me tell you, I felt like a new man here
Really, about
recently.
4 hours of sleep.
And you get 2 more extra hours, and they're straight through. You didn't wake up. I mean, that's how I've been training.
Quality of sleep matters too.
It does.
If you're rolling around or not sleeping well, then that's just as negative.
It is.
You really gotta sleep well.
Yeah.
It's not just getting sleep. You gotta sleep well.
Just sleep well for sure. And man, that's what's been going on in life though. I've been training, doing some jiu-jitsu, taking care of the kids.
I'm pretty sure that I turned that off.
Yeah. Me and my oldest son about to fly out to Cali, go spend time with Jared. Yeah, so the very first episode, Jared, we're going to see him. And like we talked about, importance of traveling on the first episode. This is my son's first time on a plane, so it's gonna be a dope little trip for us to take.
That's a long flight for.
We're flying from Louisville to Las Vegas, hopping on another flight, going to LA, and then we'll be in LA for a couple days, and then we'll fly back straight through. So, and the fly back straight through on a big boy plane be a lot smoother for him. So he a little nervous.
Louisville to Vegas should still be a pretty big plane. It's still like a 6 hour flight, a 4 hour flight.
Nah, three and a half.
3 to Vegas.
Yeah. 4 to Cali, 3.5 to Vegas.
I haven't flown out to Cali in, I don't know, 3-4 years.
Yeah, that's when it's straight through.
I'm in California in general. It's a great state to be in.
I started my passport stuff too.
Yeah, I have to renew mine this year.
Yeah, so
like 2 more months to renew that before I'm in trouble.
Definitely plan on like I want to go out of the country and do some stuff with us.
That Jared's focusing on.
Yeah.
That I'm really hoping to be able to take advantage of in the next year or so.
Yep.
When he goes back out to Europe, God, I want to go to him so bad.
Yeah.
Even if I just fly, like he's gonna be out there for like 20 days or 21 days. He's gonna fly out there for
10.
Even a week.
Yes.
Yep. A week,
yeah.
dude.
Nah, I feel that a full 7. A full 7.
Out of my country.
Yeah.
Ship me off to Europe for a week.
So hopefully next May you'll see us coming from Europe.
We do a live podcast from Europe.
You ain't gonna be listen.
I'd like to do sometime in the future here soon is be able to shoot this live.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good at being able to control conversation and stuff now and understanding how it is. And I would be willing to do some live stuff. There's certain episodes that I'm not willing to do live because, when alcohol gets involved, smoking gets involved, any of that, I don't want to do that live. But everything else,
Sometimes we have to make some cuts for that.
Yeah. I and my mouthpiece can get a little reckless some days, so I try to keep my composure where I need it, and yeah, it is for sure. But man, I appreciate us being able to do this episode, just kind of getting everybody up to date of what we've been doing, and hope y'all have enjoyed the growth of us because we have more plans and we have been trying to do it like. If you ask me, for the first few episodes, we have did it proper, and I'm very proud of what we're producing, and
just the quality that we've been able to put out for the first 8 episodes, and this is including the growth in quality in the last 3 even. It has been the most incredible thing that I've seen while I'm doing recording. Part of that's where I have a lot of equipment already, so that it looks good, but you can make anything look good. But the amount of talent that Jordan brings to this podcast and our guests bring to this podcast with 0 experience. This is the first time any of us have been on camera.
Yeah.
We're not actors, we're not entertainers in any kind. We just talk to people because that's our jobs.
Not trying to be neither.
And it's like that. It's a different level if you go and look at first episodes from some other podcasts. We only release once a month, and that's partly because we are super busy, and we would love to make this a full-time thing, but That is very far down the road.
Yeah, that's probably 2 3 years down the road, bare minimum.
Right.
Um,
But just
it's
the talent that's been in this podcast for the first 10 episodes, and the talent that's going to be in the next 10 episodes, the next 20 episodes, we're just going to get better.
Yeah.
So take some time, give us a follow. Subscribe to our Instagram, our TikToks. We are going to be putting out some more social content. We're not very good at that. I'm not very good at that.
So I'm working off Instagram, and that's like the main thing I'm working off right now. And it's I am JSW, culture of JSW. It's culture of JSW.
Right, and that's his personal Instagram.
Yeah, that's my personal Instagram.
His barber life.
My kid life. I talk my shit on there. I post
Yeah,
my personal shit on there.
Lattes, you can go to his life.
I just post stuff that interests me. I don't always believe everything that I post, but I do like the idea of, and I think it sparks conversation. And I think one of the main things that we need in this country is to be able to have uncomfortable conversations. Not yeah. Well, eventually it will be comfortable. Like, but it takes some uncomfortable conversations to make sure that we are on the same page and on the same level. And like, no real things are built off being shallow. So like, we have to be open and be
diversity is what built this country in the first place.
Right.
So if we're not leveraging the positives of diversity, then we're not leveraging our country.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I have to say politically. I think there's plenty of differences that everybody has, and
that's perfectly okay.
It has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
That is your life. Everybody's different. Everybody does different things. We just need to be able to talk about it.
Yeah, and there's certain things that people don't want to talk about. Cool, like respect that space, but like we do need some uncomfortable conversations to make sure that we are all on the same page.
It's okay to disagree with your friends and your family.
It's okay.
You don't have to cut somebody out of your life because they don't have the exact same viewpoints as you.
Yeah.
You have a two-dimensional life where you're watching and viewing and talking about the exact same things. And
this life is weird, bro.
You have zero differences.
Yeah.
You have to have some confrontation or you get too comfortable.
Life is weird. It's too short. Stop beefing.
Stop beefing.
Let's just love each other. Come on.
Angry. Don't flip that guy off just because he cuts you off.
Yeah, man. Life happens. Don't act like you ain't ever rushed. Yeah.
Also, if you're on your way to the hospital, call an ambulance and don't rush. Okay. That's you that I flipped off earlier for cutting off the driver.
I definitely am that guy that just rushes, throwing the yields, boom, hazards. I definitely did that before. But anyways, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in.
We're on the double ADHD podcast.
Yeah, that's what this is today. Yeah.
It's ADHD.
Yeah. That's but we're here for y'all, and we appreciate y'all being here for us. And till next episode.
Thank you all so much for watching. It's been great.
Peace.
Peace.